So why do we wear tefillin? We're going to see that it's really connected to living in Gan Eden. What does it mean to actually live in Gan Eden? Living in Gan Eden means that your consciousness and your heart, your emotions, are constantly synchronized, connected, and you're constantly aware of the truth of your existence. Meaning, I am 100% aware that I am a soul and that my body is a garment and that my body sends messages, sometimes positive, sometimes negative, meaning sometimes my body sends message it needs to eat, needs to drink so that's from the nefesh part, that's connected to my body. That's my animal soul connected to my body that gives me the information that I need to stay alive and stay healthy. So I listen to those messages. Those are good messages. I need to sleep. I need to that. That's part of the human health and balance. Then I have the negative messages that come from my Yetzer Hara. Part of my nefesh and my body is the desire that pushed me to go beyond what's necessary, and to have pleasures that are going to be destructive to my body and a waste to my soul, because my soul wants to constantly grow. It is here to grow and to achieve, through good deeds and refinement and learning Torah, a perfection, and which means to get closer and closer to God. So when I have my tefillin on the hand, my tefillin on my head, I am constantly aware of the message I'm sent by my body, right? And I stop it. I put like a leash, or like you put on the horse, you put, I think it's called the reins. I forgot how it's called in English. But you put those leather leashes, so to speak, to your emotions to direct the emotions, the 7 emotions or messages that come from the body, and I control it. Just like the woman goes around the husband, and because she's there to direct the power of the male, the power of the man to go in the world and send its potential. And I do that act of controlling and directing those energies. That's why I prefer start with there, because I get message during the day. So if I want to live in Gan Eden, if I want to live on the level of be constant with God and super consciousness, what do? I start feeling every desire I have from the moment I wake up. I'm thinking, why do I feel this? Why do I have those messages and desires? And I direct them, I redirect them, and then I go to my head. And my head, I say, okay, is this going to bring me closer to God or not? There's a 4th section here. So therefore, it's all about, I need to put an order and distinguish between good and evil, right and left, and create a balance. The center. So we'll put the tefillin has to be always remind ourselves that it should be in the center, so that the 2 sides are balanced. The male, female, the good, evil. Not that female is evil. We're speaking Kabbalah terms, so it's not what it means. But soul and body, and they need to be married. So when I do that, again, the head and the body, right? Spiritual, physical, male, female, potential and reality. And I control it. So I control it, I control my thoughts, and then I go back to my hand, and I can do the action. And the action becomes a Gan Eden action. So we were talking about how to live in Gan Eden. So one of the way to live in Gan Eden is to have tefillin all day. So people in the past had tefillin all day. Today we're on such a lower level that we don't necessarily we're not able to be constantly thinking, because you can have those feeling with the name of God in there, and have negative thoughts or do things without thinking. So at least when I'm feeling, I'm supposed to try to think all the time that I have feeling that a name of God is on me. Like in Gan Eden, I represent God. You represent God every second. We know when someone is about to sin, he should take off his kippah, he should take off his holy garment so that he doesn't identify as that, or doesn't tarnish or make dirty his garment and his soul and what he represents, his soul. So we take off all the jewelries that the king's jewelries, because we have to be king of ourselves in the image of God. He said God also put on tefillin. It's asked, what does God have in his tefillin in the Gemara Brachos, right? So we try to be king of ourselves, just like God is king over himself. And what does God do all day long? We know from Rosh Hashanah, he's praying. God also is praying with us. He's praying that his rachamim should take over his din. And we have to do the same thing. We're praying that our good side should take over our strict side, the way we judge people, the way we love people, the way we, right? So everything we do, I'm constantly praying that I should be kovesh yitzro, right? Who is strong? Someone who is able to transform and to little by little elevate his desire and redirect them in the right direction, to the point that even his body wants to do what the soul wants, until the body becomes spiritually hungry. We have that feeling sometimes after Shabbat, of holidays. We had a whole day of spirituality, and all of a sudden we go out, and then now we're hungry. We got to eat. We want to go to movies. We want to go party, whatever, because that's the body asking for more spirituality. But unfortunately, we fall into the trap and we feed it food or whatever materialistic thing. Really, it's asking for more spirituality, but we don't realize it comes from there. So that's, again, listening to the message. You were very aware, very attuned to what's going on. I'm a soul in this world, and everything that comes as messages for good, for physical and spiritual, and I try to balance everything to make sure I stay most of the time on the spiritual side. Then I'm able to function in Gan Eden. This is the reason why on Shabbat we don't wear tefillin, because Shabbat is tefillin. Why is Shabbat tefillin? Because Shabbat is the time where we stop everything. I am aware more than any other time during the week that of what I'm supposed to do. Is a day alone. It's a date with God. So I'm not focused anymore on the mundane, hopefully, or think of the politics, or think of the work, or think of that. I'm only thinking everything during the week was all to get really close to God, hopefully. And I'm trying the whole Shabbat. I have that level of consciousness. I'm aware, because the whole Shabbat is about that. That's why you have 39 melachos, all the laws that you're supposed to do. Then it reminds you that you need to be aware of absolutely everything. It's a level of Gan Eden. Shabbat is Gan Eden. In the Anania Kavod, where 7 Anania Kavod, is 6, and then 1 in the front to direct us. And that Shabbat, number 7, we're trying to live like that. And when Sukkot is going to come soon, we are going to experience living in Gan Eden again, but even more tangibly in the physical world. We go outside and we try to build our Gan Eden. So it's very cool. So this is, living in Gan Eden. You want to live in paradise, my friends? You want to live in Gan Eden? Just put on tefillin if you're Jewish. If you or just meditate all day. Meaning meditating, not necessarily in the sense that I, sit in a lotus form, close my eyes and listen hums. Meditating is be fully aware of what I'm doing, fully in control of everything that I'm thinking. um, thinking constantly positive, looking at the world as constant potential. I'm in the quantum world. Everything is a potential to bring good. Every one of your action during your day can bring you a step closer to God, a step away from God. So that's a little bit the idea of tefillin. That's the idea of Shabbat, where we don't need to wear tefillin. And that's the idea. Now, interestingly, there's also a Gemara, I believe it's David HaMelech, I think, in Gemara Brachos, that says, oh, what if I don't have tefillin? How am I going to do if I don't have tefillin? How am I going to know that I'm connected to God? What's going to remind me to be connected to God? So for men, it's the bris, his bris, because his bris is the symbol that he put onto himself. He makes a sign, a permanent sign, that every desire, that's why it's at the strongest desire, every desire of myself are going to be directed towards Hashem. Even the strongest desire in my body, which is the sexual desire, even that power, even that desire is going to be directed towards being fruitful and multiply and planting seeds that are not wasted, planting seeds that are going to grow, bring children, or bring love towards a man and a woman. And when we see that, right, the bris, the sexual organ, is a place of connection between two people. It corresponds the bris that we have between us and God. That's how we become Jewish. Abraham made the bris; he became Jewish through that. Where it's so the bris milah is the tefillin that we naturally have on our body, so to speak. So even when you don't have tefillin and you're alone you're in the shower or you're in the bathroom, how are you going to be reminded that even in those areas where you don't have tefillin, and it's not Shabbat, so how are you going to remind yourself? You're going to remind yourself with that sign. Women don't need it. They're on a high spiritual level. Women are usually always very connected to their spiritual self, or at least emotional self and physical self. They're very aware of their body. And therefore, they naturally have that talent. They don't need to wear tefillin for that reason. They're naturally connected in heart and mind, and they have a stronger natural sense of balance, of goodness. The woman is Shasani Katsono. She says, I'm made in the image of God, and therefore she doesn't need reminder or bris. She's already made in the image of God, exactly like he wanted. Says the Arisa said the woman doesn't need to reincarnate because she's the Maccabee Patish of the man. She's the final, it's called the final blow, the finishing part, enables to finish the man, not in a negative way. She's finishing the man in a way that she completes him, and she enables him to be balanced and to create more awareness. Again, the woman, she goes 7 times around the husband, right? Ashkenazi under the chuppah, it's going to that. The woman is the tefillin of the man. She's the woman crowns the man. She's the crown of her husband. That's the tefillin. She's the tefillin of the man. Now, obviously, there's some women who don't act like that, but usually it's because they didn't grow up with that understanding, or they were influenced by the wrong rabbis or by the wrong people or friend, and they lose their Gan Eden. The woman naturally is on the level of Gan Eden. The woman creates your home into a sukkah. She is, like it says in the Sfarim Kedoshim, that she is the Kohen Gadol in the Beis Hamikdash, and when she cooks food for her family, it's like she brings a korban on Mizbeach. So that's what I want to share about tefillin and living in Gan Eden. May we all. So again, it's very hard to live on that level. The Tomer Devorah says we cannot be always like that, right? It's very hard. Already Shabbat is hard for people. 24 hours just with God, and people have the hard time just thinking of God all day and learning all day. it's not easy. It's a training. We are coming to a world where we're going to need to train more and more to achieve that, to feel that, to meditate 24/7. But really, what a Jew is someone who he spends his whole day meditating, meaning being fully consciously aware of everything that happens, everything he feels, everything that he sees, everything he does, so that absolutely everything is connected towards the purpose of getting closer to God, elevating the world, refining oneself. At the end, it's all about unity. We're here to be in love with every human being, in love with every creation. Everything God created is good. Therefore, we have to love everything that is created. Even the darkness is part of the process. The process might look bad, but actually good. So it is our power. When we live on that level, we literally transform the world, meaning God is going to make the world react on the level of Gan Eden. Okay, so people are very, very holy, like the Baal Shem Tov, the Arizal, the Ramchal, Vinagaon. They could see Eliyahu Hanavi. You're on the level of Gan Eden, then you can encounter beings, angels, Eliyahu Hanavi, people. It's a level of Gan Eden on earth. Gan Eden is here. We know the entrance of Gan Eden is in Hebron, in Israel, but that's really the entrance of the physical Gan Eden. The Gan Eden on the conscious level can be all around us. So may we all be able to achieve that level and live a life of love, a life of positivity, a life of Gan Eden, a life of Shabbat. That's why the tzaddik has to try to live the level of Shabbat the whole week. What does that mean? Because the whole week he is connected to that level of consciousness. All right, so I'll see you in Gan Eden.